Good afternoon, traders. This market update is for Thursday, October the 21st, 2010. Today the market finished up about 2 points today, but overall it was some solid trading, and you could have positioned yourself to make huge gains if you caught the market at the right levels and played the reversals correctly. Today I had a very good day. Yesterday was a pretty bad day for me, but today was really good, and it made up for yesterday's loss, and that's always a plus. So right now I'm going to show you on the intraday chart what exactly happened. We ran up today, and we came all the way up and we approached this 1189 level. That was the high we put in. So a lot of times when you have say 1188, I have a resistance level, and then under that 1188.50. These are two levels that are resistance, and a lot of times they'll run it over the resistance levels to scare you, and then they'll run it right back down. For example, you see they ran into 1189. That juked a lot of people out because a lot of people see this resistance line, they're putting their orders right here, then they have their stop a little up, and that will take you out. Another thing is right here, this is a head fake. They thought that this was going to collapse right now and break through the 50 and head down to this 1182 level, which did not happen. They run it back up, they stop everyone else out, then they continue down, and then the 50 starts declining on our move essentially to the 1179 handle. Now the 1179 handle, which we bounced off right here, is only the open of the day. And that's how beneficial this line is if you know how to trade it properly. So we came here, we bounced around, we got about to this 1178 handle, we got to move off that, and then everyone was basically focused after lunchtime on this down move because the 50 had been declining throughout the day. That was just a bearish sentiment. Right after the open, I should let you guys know that all the big players, because you can listen to the outcry. I think Thinkorswim offers it free. I don't listen to it with Thinkorswim because it's really annoying. I don't like, nothing against the guy, I just don't like his voice. It gives me a headache. Trade the News has another outcry, and them guys are really good. They're veterans, they're older guys, they know what they're doing. And the littler you say sometimes means more, because you'll know what I mean if you hear the Thinkorswim guy anyways. So they were trapped short. The big players were shorting it right off the open. They thought we were going to turn around and head down right away. So they came up here, and then that's when they started shorting because this down move was on decent sized volume. And then that's the players that initially brought it down. So they were only break even when we came to this 1182 level. The big boys need to turn a profit today, and that's what happened. They came down here, they sold it down, and then they had a chance to cover their shorts at 1172 handle. So they covered their shorts, and that's what started happening. And then we had this initial pop. So I figured if I caught some of this down move, I could show you a couple trades I made, but I was really positioning myself for this big up move right here. And I caught a couple trades. Like I said, I'm going to show you what exactly happened and how I profited off just knowing the right levels. So like I said, we got to close around 1180 today on the S&P. Let me switch to this Amazon chart. Amazon reported today after the close, and they missed on earnings. I haven't read the earnings report, but just seeing how the stock's trading, it looks like they did miss. And they sold off. They try to make a higher low here, and that did happen. But if they come down and they get below this higher low we put in, I believe 1155 will be taken out. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I got a couple messages and comments saying you guys liked me looking over individual stocks, since most of you do trade stocks that are watching my videos, because I don't highlight the currency markets as much. I do go over the dollar futures, but that's not the currency markets. Alright, so I'm looking at McDonald's right here, and McDonald's beat on earnings. just by looking at the chart, because you could tell in pre-market pretty much if a stock beat or missed. The stock's not going to run up if they beat, especially if they gap up after yesterday's close, which was at 77.40, and they opened at 78.20. So a 90-cent move from yesterday's close, they moved up, and then we sold down a little bit. Looking at a 5-minute time frame, we ran right up. I actually called some of the McDonald's move this morning, and they sold it off just like the market. And if you guys ever wondered, it took me a while to grasp this, but when you see stocks report good earnings and they go down and they trade with the market, like today, this is what the market did pretty much. It came down, and then we had that up move. Remember, I told you guys to look out for around that 1176 handle on the SPX. So what happens is the stocks aren't linked to the market. A lot of people may think that, but that's not it. The algorithms are linked to the market. Okay? So they have the algorithms on the SPX factored into the stock prices. That's why you see Amazon reporting after hours, right? And then you see CTXS moving with Amazon and other tech companies. The reason for that is because they're linked to the NASDAQ, and the algorithm's linked to the NASDAQ. So when a stock reports, other stocks get affected. Now, that's not always the case in after hours earnings. Sometimes it may be a reason that a stock reports and you have another stock in the same exact sector, not just being in the same index, but in the same sector, and they see bad things. Well, that may mean maybe all the stocks in the sector are going to report bad news, because if you have a main stock like Amazon reporting bad news, other stocks probably will. So just take that into consideration. The airlines reported today, about 5 airline companies. JetBlue reported, and they gapped up, so I assume they beat on earnings, and it was a nice trade. The only time I will trade an airline is on earnings. I didn't trade these today, but look at the case that I could have made for a long. Like I said, they gapped up, they pulled back down, they met support right at the 10-day moving average at around 660, and then they had a bang right up to 720. So that's a pretty big move, and being that it's such a small size share, you could load up on more size. Also, Cal reported. Alright, Cal isn't pulling up, but ALK, Alaska Airlines, reported, and they opened up as a gap, and then they sold right off, so I'm not sure what that case was for. Eli Lilly reported, symbol LLY. You could see the symbols in the top left corner, and it looks like they probably missed because they sold off throughout the day. Baxter beat on earnings. This was a heck of a day trade right here, and Baxter gapped up. 49.70 was the open, and then we got a high of 51.70, so a 2-point run up on Baxter. That's how I trade, guys. I tried to catch that initial morning move so that I'll have a little bit of cushion. I've explained this in recent videos. I'll have a little bit cushion, so in the afternoon session I could take a little more risk. Alright, looking at Caterpillar. Kramer came out, he said he loved Caterpillar's earnings numbers. They gapped it up, but then they sold it off pretty hard throughout the day. I tried trading this to the long side because of the good news that came out. They reported $1.22 versus $1.09, but I actually lost a little bit this morning on this trade. Also, UPS reported, and they reported it a little better. I made money on UPS. I made about 30 cents on this trade right here. Got long in this area. I believe it was 69.35. No, that's not it. I don't know the exact number, but it was in the lower part of this little consolidation, and I got this initial pop move up to this 69.93 level. Nokia had a huge quarter. Yesterday's close was at 10.84, and they gapped up and put a high today in 11.60. Personally, I thought this stock was going bankrupt. I remember my first cell phone was a Nokia. I don't really know a lot about this company anymore. I think they did come out with a smartphone, but it's just not my style. Philip Morris reported earnings today, and they gapped down, but they bought this huge gap. So maybe some people read some. Oh, here's another scenario. Maybe the top line, let me see. Yep, they missed on the top line, but the conference call probably came out in the morning. It was better than expected, and then that's why the stock went up. Alright guys, so American Express just reported, and it looks like they missed on earnings. You know that there's been so much bad information between Visa and American Express over the last few months, but these stocks always find a way to come back. I don't know how the heck they do it, but they do. And now this might be catching up to them. Wow, wow, wow. That's all I have to say. Big boy Chipotle Mexican Grill symbol CMG came out, blew away their numbers. Kramer fave. Bye, bye, bye. That's Kramer saying right there, and he was right about this stock. Hit a high of 191 today, and now they're coming down, trading around 186. But the great stock, great beat on earnings, and it's going to be in play tomorrow. All right, Synaptics, and I believe these are the people that create Norton Antivirus and a bunch of other softwares. I'm not 100%, but I believe that's it. And they had some takeover speculation about a month ago. I'm not exactly sure how that played out. We could take a look. Nothing came about it, but right now looks like they got a little selling pressure in the after hours. Chubb just reported, Chubb Corp, and Chubb's actually one of my favorite stocks to trade, above between the $50 and $60 range. It puts out nice moves. You could have got right here $58.99, and then there was a low of $58.02, and it doesn't like juke you out a lot. It pretty much goes where you think it's gonna go, hits its areas. He's a good boy. He does his job. It's not a lot of risk. Like, I don't go in big on this. If I see a trend in the market, or if I study this the night before and I think it's going to set up, I don't trade it every day. But under the right circumstance, I'll go small, like 100 or 200 shares, and I'll just put a loose stop and let it ride throughout the day. Tomorrow morning before the open, we have Verizon reporting. And this 3260 level is going to be essential for Verizon. And if they beat, I'm sure 33 will be approached in the pre-market. If they miss, 32 will be a support number. Guys, you know how much I like Verizon right now. It's my favorite wireless company. And then all this good news coming with the iPhone next year, they might blow out earnings. I'm just saying. Schlumberger is going to report tomorrow before the market opens. I traded Schlumberger today. During this consolidation area, as you can see right here, I was looking for Schlumberger to peek its head above this 64.29 level, pull back, and I buy on the pullback, and then I look for the move up to 64.50. That did not happen. My bias had to change when the facts changed. Facts were we didn't get past this and the sellers gained control. I got short at 64.22, which was right here, and I wrote this all the way down. I covered prematurely a 63.82, but it was still a 40-cent pop. 40-cent decline, profit pop in my favor. So this was a decent trade that you could have implemented into your strategy. I hope all these stocks that I'm pointed out help you guys, and the next time you see these formations, that you catch them and you make as much money as I am. And then we have Ingersoll Rand reporting tomorrow before the open. Kramer, remember he said this is one of his favorite stocks. He had the CEO on this week. They could potentially get a pop. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know 38.70 is going to be a very critical support level, followed by 38.56 tomorrow. And we don't have any economic data tomorrow on the radar, so you guys have a great day trading tomorrow, and I'll put out my weekly update after the close. Good luck, guys.